Welcome back once again. President Abdel Fattah Sisi congratulated Egyptians on the 44th anniversary of Sinai Liberation Day, echoing the key messages of his speech marking the occasion. On his official media account, the President said the anniversary embodies the values of pride, determination and sacrifice, describing Sinai as a lasting symbol of resilience, a cornerstone of national security and a focal point for development efforts. He also prayed for Egypt's continued safety and stability, reinforcing his broader message of national unity and confidence in the country's path forward. The First Lady, Mrs. Intisar Sisi, extended greetings Saturday to Egyptian people, marking the 44th anniversary of the liberation of Sinai, paying tribute to the sacrifices of the nation's heroes and expressing pride in the recovery of the land. In a post on her official social media account, she prayed for mercy to the martyrs and wished Egyptians continued well-being. With us now for more details over the phone, Major General Osama Kabeir. Good afternoon, Your Excellency.
Dina, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much.
It's a real pleasure to have you. What is the significance of the anniversary or the 44th now anniversary of the liberation of Sinai, especially that it comes at a very critical time?
Of course, and as I just have mentioned, that the Egyptian political leadership have given a speech this early morning that to congratulate the Egyptians with the commemoration of this 44th celebration of the Sinai liberation. And from that, we can crystallize his words like the main core and the main concept out of this celebration is that the determination and the assertiveness and persistence of the Egyptians by that time to retreat back all the Sinai Peninsula that had been taken in the War of 1967, and that gives the great value of the golden core of the Egyptians, that they will never leave their rights and their land unless they will fight back and get back all the rights to the hands of the Egyptians. By the cooperation of all the country components, we're speaking about the armed forces, speaking about the people, speaking about the Sinai Bedouins, speaking about the Egyptian government executive sectors, all was like unified in such a very, very important objective that been achieved. And happy anniversary day in the commemoration of 44 of this very precious occasion we have here.
How does the President's speech, which by the way was very powerful, describe the importance of Sinai beyond its geographic importance?
Right, and as you can see, the President in his speech also has declared that, of course, like everybody knows, Sinai is the eastern gate of Africa, not only Egypt, and of course it's an Egyptian land, so it has a very, very special strategic importance within our mindset and concept. And if you can see that, he also spoke about that we have a very strong and a very, very professional armed forces here in Egypt, which is very much able to build back any sort of aggression and to protect all the political and geographical borders of the country, and to preserve the rights of the Egyptian people, not only Egyptian people, but also the Arab world. So from that point, we can see the Sinai as being the eastern gate of Egypt is very precious, as well as it has a very, very important geopolitical strategic location as being like a peninsula in between the two Gulfs, speaking about Gulf of Suez and Gulf of Aqaba. And from the northern side of Egypt, we have the Mediterranean Sea. So it's very, very important, and that's why it represents something which is very, very much precious and valuable to the Egyptian in both like the military concept and from a political concept, as well as a geostrategic location concept. Yes, ma'am.
Right. What key messages did His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi emphasized about Egypt's sovereignty and the territorial integrity of the country?
Right, and this is a very good question. The key messages or the key issues we have here out from that speech, that after he greeted and congratulated the Egyptian people for this for commemoration anniversary we have here today. The second thing, that the Egyptian army is pretty much ready and competent, professional to protect this Holy Land, speaking about all Egypt, not only Sinai. Third things that he was speaking about, that the battle of the development that Egypt is conducting almost something like 80 years ago in a parallel line with the battle against terror that struck in Sinai since almost 2014 up to 2021. So it's very important that we are keeping up our sustainable development movement on ground, as well as like to renew the cities in Egypt, in Sinai, and to start making more mega conventions and projects that would give and provide a bigger chance for the youth to have and find jobs out there. Then he spoke again about the unrest situation that strikes within the Middle East, and speaking here about the Gaza Strip and the scourge that hit the population of Gaza and the Egyptian efforts that led to the agreement of the 15th of October 2025. Then again, we are finding another way that open like hell. Now we have this war in between the U.S. Israel against Iran, and the consequences and implications that like rehitting again on the Middle East, and problems of the economy due to this war, and like too many messages we have. So the key issues, and lastly, he spoke about that he gave an alert. I would say the man gave an alert and a warning to anyone who's not adequate enough, not wise enough to start making something which is against the Middle East map. So we are here and we know how to preserve our areas, our borders, and it's much better for everyone to get back to the diplomatic channel route and sit on the table, put their papers, and let's solve this problem in a peaceful way, or otherwise some other consequences they will never like. They won't be conducted by us.
How did the President's words during this powerful speech by him reflected on Egypt's efforts to reclaim Sinai concerning military, political and legal patterns and aspects?
It's again, yes. If you could see this speech today, it's very rich by too many meanings, as well as like too many messages in between the lines. And Sinai, militarily, politically, geostrategically, location is something that Egypt would keep like in a very sensitive, high-scale, ultra-important position within the Egyptian mindset, because if you can see something like a couple of years ago when some others from the other side, the Eastern side, starting about here, and then we start talking about that to move the Palestinians from the Gaza Strip all the way to Sinai. So some people have sick-minded people, I would say, would be invaded by some other like diabolically sinister ideas that invade their minds. So the man is saying, it's not how do you dare to do that? Stop thinking about that, because you will be successfully failing to do anything from which your mind is coming up with. Yes.
Right. How did the speech connect the past military victories with the current development efforts in Egypt?
Because the development battle is not in a lower level of the military battle. Yes, but first of all, you need to bring back your country. You need to hold back and seize back, capture your land invaded by the Israelis in 1967. But also, we need the development battle, because through this channel route, you can, as I told you, provide like that bigger scale of other jobs that might help the youth to move to Sinai. Sinai is around something like 63,000 kilometers in square. That's a large scale of land. We need to follow with the Egyptians. We need to start, make up our mega conventions, to open our mega factories, and to use the advantages of the geopolitical location. Speaking about the seas, we have 3 seas like surrounding Sinai. And from that point, hence I would say, it's very important, and it's very important to quickly go through the development measurements and standards, just to make sure that you are getting the benefits and the most outcomes, positive outcomes from this very precious peninsula of Sinai.
General Kabeir, what major challenges have Egypt faced in the recent years as highlighted in the speech?
Yes, first of all, let's talk about the war in terror, WOT, that the Egyptian Armed Forces plus the collaborators from the Sinai Bedouins, as well as other police members and other security sectors. That war was a little bit harshly aggressive. It took something like 8 years, and the Egyptian Armed Forces have lost too many of their elements and members. But by the end, we could achieve the victory, and we could clarify and purify this holy land from all the germs and the diseases all trying to be contagious and infectious within the land. That's number one. Second thing is that what happened about the COVID-19, something like 7 years ago, when the COVID-19
Right. On that note, of course, Major General Osama Kabeir, advisor at the Commandant Staff College, I'd like to thank you so much talking to us in Cairo local time. Thank you very much.